Okay, so now we're going to make creme anglaise. Creme anglaise is a cooked custard. It can either be a sauce, it can be turned into ice cream. Um, it's the base for Bavarian cream and a lot of mousses. So it's a really versatile item that you'd want to know how to make because you can turn it into a million things. The first thing we want to do though is heat up the milk until it's steaming and then add the tea bag because we're going to make Earl Grey creme anglaise today. You want to heat that and let it steep for about 10 to 15 minutes, okay? So mine's already been steeping for that long. What I want to do is I just want to squeeze out anything that might be in the tea bag. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put the milk that's been flavored with the Earl Grey and the cream into a pot. And we're going to start warming that. So maybe on medium heat, you really want to keep your eye on it. So I'm going to turn mine down a little bit. And then in another bowl, you want to take your egg yolks and the sugar. Now, you need to combine those two, but you don't want to combine them until your cream is heating. If you combine them too early, the sugar will suck some moisture from the egg yolks and will create some little hard bits inside. And that's not desirable. So take your sugar now and put it on your egg yolks and just give it a quick stir until it's all combined. You also want to have a strainer here ready to go. A lot of people like to do this with a whisk, but I don't. I find that it puts in too many air bubbles. So just give it a quick stir with a spatula. Now that I know that's ready to go, I can turn up my heat and I'm going to wait for my cream to come to a quick simmer. And then I'm going to temper the egg yolks into the cream and milk. Another thing that's really handy to have when you're making creme anglaise is a digital thermometer. I'm going to use mine to help decide what temperature I want to cook this to. It's going to end up somewhere between 70 and 83 degrees Celsius. 70 will give us a really thin custard, and 83 will give us a very thick custard. So for this purpose, because we're going to turn this into Bavarian cream later, I'm going to aim for about 80 degrees Celsius. You obviously don't want to overcook it or you'll have scrambled eggs. And if you undercook it, it'll be too thin and potentially you have some raw egg in there and that can make people sick. So now that it's come to a bit of a simmer, you can see the bubbles happening. I'm going to temper that into my egg yolks and sugar. Just going to tuck my towel in here and hope that helps me from spinning it around. So just a little bit at first, just a little at a time until you get it mixed in. You don't want to pour too fast because you don't want the eggs to cook. And once you get your liquid about halfway in, then you can pour a little bit faster and you can pour in a steady stream. But you want to make sure that your eggs are warmed before you start pouring quickly. So I just want to give it a really good scrape down the sides, make sure I've got all the eggs and everything in there. Okay, now I'm going to add it back to the pot. And I'm going to put it back on the heat. So scrape everything out. Now when I put it back on the heat, I'm going to drop my temperature a little bit. And the secret now to success is that you cannot stop stirring. Okay? You want to keep it stirring, keep it moving off the bottom, and then you want to keep an eye on it with your thermometer. So remember, our magic number is between 70 and 83 Celsius. I'm aiming for about 80. So really, in very short notice, I'm at 70 already. So 72, 73. I can't stop stirring because the eggs will cling to the bottom and it will make scrambled eggs. So 79, 80, I'm done already. Your burner at home will probably take a little bit longer than that. And then I'm just going to strain it right away. You'll see that I have some bits in the bottom of the pot. You don't want those, so don't scrape them out. And then just lift up your strainer, and anything that hangs out in the strainer stays in the strainer. So I can see there's little bits of egg white, maybe from when I separated the egg. You don't want to bring any of those with you. Okay? So now, that's our creme anglaise. It's really important that you cool this quickly over an ice bath if you're not using it right away. If you want to use it for ice cream, it's best if you chill it overnight in the fridge before you put it into an ice cream machine. That allows the fat to crystallize properly, and it will make a much nicer ice cream if you can let it age overnight. This we're going to turn into Bavarian cream. So I'll be back in a minute to do that.